Coming up, a major phase of growth in Abaco coming on stream.
The immigration minister hits back at human rights activists.
And Christmas kicks off in Andros. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Abaco's economy is being repositioned to become a leading destination in the region for second home owners. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kendino Knowles.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. Today, Prime Minister Perry Christie announced the new partners that will take over the Abaco Club on Winding Bay, positioning the resort and second home property for a major facelift.
With the signing of this deal, the Abaco Club, and indeed the destination of Abaco, is now poised, as I've indicated, to enter a new phase of growth.
And that growth Prime Minister Honorable Perry Christie is talking about is what will propel this northern jewel of an island to a place of prominence in the region, particularly for high-end vacationers and second home owners. Investor confidence has always been high for Abaco, and now with the purchase of a major resort on the island, the Abaco Club Winding Bay from the Marriott Vacation Worldwide Corporation, big things are about to happen. The U.S.-based company, which is a leading developer worldwide of high-end second home properties, acquired the community in an all-cash purchase in partnership with a consortium of members and residents of the Abaco Club. First on the list, major renovations.
With more than 150 homes left to be built at the Abaco Club, the company plans additional investments in commercial real estate development valued at $348 million over the next 5 to 7 years, including, among other facilities, construction of a new clubhouse, beachfront restaurant, and pool complex.
Prime Minister Perry Christie and developer David Southworth pointing out that the golf course has been rated internationally as #1 in the Bahamas and 8th in the region, and that's before the $10 million upgrade that will come. Outside of this property, there are further plans by the government to lengthen the Marsh Harbor Airport runway in wake of expanded airlift. Mr. Christie is hoping projects like these will be undertaken through public-private partnerships.
Abaco is set to become a market leader in the region for successfully built and managed mixed-use developments, encompassing both small and large-scale hotel, resort, and second home communities. This will now place Abaco in a position to attract new commercial airlift by major carriers from the United States of America and Canadian cities.
One of the key components of the Christie administration in signing deals like this one is to ensure that there's a heavy involvement by the investor in the community, and that's definitely evident in this deal. Prime Minister Christie is advising Abaconians to take full advantage of the opportunities that will avail themselves through this new partnership. In Cherokee Sound, Abaco, Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
The Minister of Immigration, Fred Mitchell, today hit back at the Grand Bahama Human Rights Association. This after the local organization made claims about brutal treatment at the Kamaica Road Detention Center.
Yes, the minister says the Grand Bahama Human Rights Association has made many allegations since the implementation of the new immigration policy, many of which have been investigated and found to be untrue. But now, he says, recent claims have gone too far.
The press called me earlier today to indicate that the Grand Bahama Human Rights Association, headed by Joseph Darville and Fred Smith, a QC, are now saying and suggesting that the Carmichael Road Detention Center is Auschwitz in the Bahamas. Now, for those people who don't know what that is, that was a German concentration camp in the Second World War, which was responsible for killing Jews by putting them in gas chambers, then burying them, taking their possessions, taking gold out of their mouths and taking that to the public treasury, and then denying that there was mass murder going on. Now that is a very serious comparison to make. And if there is absolutely no evidence of that kind of conduct, that's the allegation which these people are now making against the government of the Bahamas, the Department of Immigration, and by extension, the people of the Bahamas. This is outrageous.
Now, the minister says if those making these false statements are honorable, they would withdraw these remarks at once. He adds that this is a major concern as these claims are defaming the reputation of this country and its people.
The concern I have is that people who don't live in the Bahamas would not know that you're dealing with someone who specializes in going over the top in his comments. And so this gets adopted by people around the world. You have, for example, I'm making a visit to the Organization of American States to give an address to the Permanent Council on Tuesday to address what our policies are and how this has all been distorted. And now I have to add another explanation where you have a human rights association without any basis in fact, just some form of political madness that this someone gets up and says, oh, you're conducting a concentration camp in the Bahamas. In which universe are these people living? And you keep asking yourself, have these people actually taken leave of their senses? I mean, it is simply unbelievable.
Now, Mitchell added that this can be considered criminal libel and can be investigated by the police. He adds that while the detention center is not a hotel, he is satisfied that there is no inhumane treatment that is sanctioned by the state.
As the need for positive change grows among young people, more than 50 youth leaders have been certified through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture National Youth Leaders Certification Program. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Dr. Daniel Johnson, commended the program's participants, telling them that one of the most important characteristics of a leader is the ability to mold new leaders. Among the newly certified youth leaders was Delvin Stubbs. He plans to use his newly acquired skills to help young men in the community.
When I first, came from school, I'd hear a lot of rhetoric on the radio, just bashing the young men, the young men, the young men. And what I know a lot of times as well is also the young ladies. But beyond that, the young persons are a product of the older generation. So whenever we see a problem with the younger generation, rather than just point the finger and say, these young people, you actually have to look and say, what did we do wrong? And what do we need to do to help correct it? And so, for me, that's what I'm passionate about.
Is brought to you by Shell Quality Fuels.